Imagine waking up with what feels like normal fever, body pain, headache, weakness, nothing unusual. But inside your body, something terrifying has already started. A virus is entering your cells, hijacking them, spreading through your organs, damaging blood vessels, and in severe cases, making the body bleed from the inside. Now, this is not fiction. It's the Bundibugyo virus, a rare but deadly virus that is related to Ebola. And what makes it scary is not just how dangerous it can become, but how fast it can silently take over the human body. So, today, let's break down the truth behind the latest global alert, why this specific virus is so incredibly difficult to detect, and how it pushes modern medicine to its absolute limits. Without wasting any time, let's get started. Alright, first understand this. Bundibugyo virus is a part of Ebola virus family. It was discovered in 2007 in a district called Bundibugyo in Uganda. That's where the name actually came from. And just like other Ebola related viruses, it causes a severe illness called viral hemorrhagic fever. That sounds complicated, right? But basically, it means the virus can damage blood vessels and organs so badly that internal bleeding may happen. The virus spreads mainly through direct contact with infected body fluids, whether it's blood, vomit, saliva, sweat, or urine. Even contaminated surfaces can become risky in some situations. And once the virus enters the body, that's when the actual damage begins. Now, here is the part that made the world panic. In May 2026, the World Health Organization began raising serious concern over a new Bundibugyo outbreak emerging in parts of Democratic Republic of the Congo. At first, it looked small, just a few unexplained fever cases appearing in mining communities. But then something dangerous happened. The virus did not stay isolated. Cases started appearing across the border in Uganda, including reports linked to areas connected with Kampala. And suddenly, health authorities realized this was no longer just a local outbreak. This had become an international emergency risk. Now, understand why this actually matters. See, mining regions often involve constant movement of workers, crowded conditions, and limited healthcare access, which creates the perfect environment for silent transmission. One infected person travels, then another, and because early symptoms look ordinary, the virus can spread before anyone fully realizes what they are actually dealing with. That's what makes outbreaks like this so dangerous. Not just the virus itself, but the delay before detection. Now, this is where this outbreak became genuinely frightening. See, Bundibugyo virus does not always begin with dramatic symptoms. In the early stage, it can look almost similar to other common illnesses already seen every day in many regions: fever, headache, fatigue, body pain, vomiting. And that's the problem, because those symptoms can also appear in malaria, typhoid, influenza, and many other infections. At first, nobody immediately thinks this could be an Ebola family virus. And according to outbreak investigations from past Ebola family outbreaks, delayed recognition is one of the biggest reasons these viruses actually spread. But wait, it gets worse. Some rapid field screening systems are not designed specifically for every Ebola strain, which means early cases may not always get identified immediately without more advanced laboratory confirmation. So, in many situations, health workers initially believe that they were treating some normal infectious fever. Meanwhile, infected patients continued interacting with families, caregivers, and communities. And during that delay, the virus quietly spreads further. That's why experts sometimes describe outbreaks like this as stealth outbreaks, because by the time the real diagnosis becomes clear, the virus may already be several steps ahead. Now, here is the part most people don't know. See, when people hear Ebola, they usually assume, don't we already have vaccines for that now? And technically, for some Ebola strains, yes, but Bundibugyo is different. Right now, there is no widely approved vaccine specifically for the Bundibugyo strain, and there is no fully approved targeted antiviral treatment designed specifically for it either, which means doctors are often fighting this virus with extremely limited tools. No magic cure, no instant injection that shuts the virus down, mostly supportive care like IV fluids, electrolyte balance, oxygen support, and blood pressure stabilization. Basically, keeping the patient alive long enough for the immune system to hopefully recover control. And honestly, that's what makes this outbreak so terrifying, especially for health experts. Because modern medicine looks incredibly powerful until a virus appears that we are not fully prepared for, and suddenly, even advanced hospitals are forced back into basic survival medicine. Terrifying, right? Now, despite how dangerous this virus is, some people do survive. And honestly, that tells us how incredible the human body actually is. In survivors, the immune system eventually starts gaining control. The body begins producing stronger targeted immune responses against the virus, and as a result, inflammation slowly reduces, organs begin recovering, and more such improvements can be seen. But recovery is not always quick. Many survivors can remain weak for weeks or even months because after such an intense infection, the body needs time to repair itself. Now, this is important. The Bundibugyo virus is dangerous, but outbreaks are relatively rare compared to many common infections. Still, scientists closely monitor these viruses because Ebola family viruses have the potential to spread rapidly in outbreaks if not controlled early. That's why quick isolation, protective equipment, contact tracing, and medical responses becomes extremely important, especially in the case of the Bundibugyo virus. You know, the scary thing about the Bundibugyo virus is not just the fever. It's how silently it turns the body against itself. Cells get hijacked, the immune system becomes overwhelmed, blood vessels become damaged, and organs begin struggling to survive, all from something too small to even see. But at the same time, this story also shows how powerful the human body really is. Because even against one of the world's deadliest viral families, some immune systems still manage to fight back. And honestly, that's one of the most fascinating things about biology, isn't it? If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, then you can let me know by hitting that like button and subscribe for more such videos where we break down complex health and science topics in the simplest way possible. Because the more you understand your body, the less mysterious your health becomes. Right? I will see you in the next video. Until then, peace out.